Alright y'all, another day, another spar, and we started out sparring Eric today. As you can see, he kind of rushes me here, so I do my best to circle out and avoid that. Now as you can see, we're keeping that long stance, kind of with a pawing jab at the front, business in the back. Now as you can see, continue to paw, and try and stay away from his shots. A lot of his shots are actually really hard to read because he's very, very twitchy, and that's a good part of his style. And he's very, very unpredictable. Now I continue to stay back in my wide stance. Use a body jab there. I go for a 1-2 there. Lands. Now my whole game plan, right, as always, is to play off my long arms and counters. Keeping that pawing jab out there. A minute in, or actually slightly more than that. Try and come down with that cross. It doesn't land very well. And keep that jab stiff as well. Kind of rushes me into the corner, and as he backs up, I use that time to get to the other side. It's a cross there. Some jabs. And we're about to reach the end of this round. That wide stance, and that is about it for this round. Round 2, y'all. As you can see, he comes out twitchy, comes out rushes me. It's kind of like the same architecture of round 1. Now I'm doing my best to throw that cross out there. Double cross. Eric is pawing at my lead hand with his rear hand. Trying my best to stifle his movement because I know he wants to rush me, and he'll just keep walking through my shots to get there. Kind of hurt my hand a bit when I threw that cross, but it's no big deal. Just gotta continue to spar. Pivot out after throwing that 1-2. And we're pawing once again. The thing with my jab still is it gets kind of sloppy. Like, I kind of leap forward with it. And then I literally come off my back leg sometimes when I throw it. So I need to stop that. For example, just like that. I don't know if I should be doing that. Maybe to a smoother extent, but we'll see. Now we're kind of in the pocket here. I get a check hook to get me out. A good cross to keep him off me. Good 1-2. And we're back on the ropes, and I do my best to get out of there. Just out-stepping and walking out. A good jab. There continues to walk me down, and that's the end of the round. Bit of a late stop there, but that's about it for this round. Round 3, y'all. Partner switch. We are sparring with Juan right now. As you can see, I'm pawing with that lead hand once again. Trying to go for that body jab. He catches me with the counter. And he catches me with a counter overhand there. If he put just a little bit more power into that, I'm sure I would have been stunned, and that wouldn't have been good for me, for sure. Juan is catching me on these inside counters because I'm getting kind of impatient, trying to force the action. There's a jab there from Juan. There's a cross coming down. He goes for that 1-1-2, lands. Now I'm just trying to keep that wide stance, be able to spring forward and backward just like that. It's a good counter there. One of the things that I think is interesting is that you don't really think about the surface that you're fighting on sometimes. However, in this ring, I feel a lot springier than the one on the floor. I'm gonna imagine that's due to the surface that I'm fighting on. You know, as I said. But yeah. Anyway, we're continuing on the spar. Shell up for a bit, get that cross in. Some jabs. Circling that. Juan has a really good head movement, so he's able to take this thing out of that. That's the end of that round. Round 4, y'all. Here we go. Final round. As you can see, I'm doing my best to put my jab out there. Stay competitive with it. Kind of level change with that jab, but he actually punishes me for that body jab. Trying my best to get him back. Yeah, Juan has a really good head movement. And look at a fighter like me, and I got no head movement. Something I need to work on. 2-1. Good jab. Now we're both kind of stepping in. Juan was actually working a pendulum today, as you can see right now, which was slightly different than what I'm usually used to, and it was really interesting. Staying light on his feet, and I'm kind of plodding. Get that cross in while I step back. There's a 1-3. Juan catches me on the off angle with that uppercut. Juan gets me with that jab. Continuing the same fight. I hit him with a cross and he hits me with his own. I get my cross in and the double jab. Reaching the tail end of this round. It's a jab right there. Gets a better of that exchange, and that's the end of it. Well guys, you know what time it is. It is time for statistics. So as always, let's go. Now I started out with round 1, I threw 45, landed 15 and had a 33.33% of landing, and in round 2, I threw 49, landed 23 and had a 46.94% landing. So against Eric, I threw 94, landed 38 and had a 40.43% of landing in total. Now I threw slightly less than I normally do here, and I'm not exactly sure why this is. However, I'm just gonna boil this down to Eric stopping me from throwing my best punches. Now in round 1 for Eric, he threw 39, landed 17 and had a 43.59% of landing. In round 2, he threw 39, landed 16 and had a 41.03% of landing. And finally, he threw 78, landed 33 and had a 42.31% of landing. So against me, he actually had a 2% better chance of landing here. He threw about the same amount of jabs, and his hooks were actually landing. Now going into part 2 of the spar. In round 1, I threw 38, landed 18 and had a 47.37% of landing. In round 2, I threw 39, landed 19 and had a 48.72% of landing. So finally, I threw 77, landed 37 and had a 48.05% of landing. So all in all, I mean, I threw a lot of straights here. I actually focused mostly on straights. Not really much difference in punch selection, and I'm definitely throwing a lot less here. In round 1, he threw 35, landed 13, and had a 37.14% landing. In round 2, he threw 26, landed 12, and had a 46.15% of landing. So all in all, he threw 61, landed 25, and had a 40.98% of landing. Now, as you can see, Juan had a much larger punch selection here. He actually threw a lot of hooks, straights, and everything in between. And he had a lot of great punches overall in that spar. So one of the things I could say is that I definitely need to address that volume. And there's some other things I need to address, which I think we're going to cover in the next couple of days. But I think I'm going to end that there, guys. That's about it for today. I'm Kobe Gaza. Please subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.